setting Washington's agenda. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
8:37, Morning Majority. Brian Neiman, Mary Catherine Ham from the Daily Caller in this morning. Major Garrett.
Welcome to our 1980s dance party.
Yes, it continues all morning long.
Nothing better.
Brett Baer, anchor, special report, Fox News Channel, joins us now. Morning, Brett.
Good morning. It's a 1980s dance party. I didn't get the memo.
Well, we've been playing all 80s music all morning long.
Since 5 a.m.
Safety dancing.
Nobody noticed except for Major.
Well, apparently I was the only one. Well, never mind.
So you've had we need a fresh take on what's going on with the budget because we've been at it since 5 o'clock this morning. Major pretty much killed the show because he said
fresh and enlightened take.
Because at 5 o'clock, Major said there's going to be a deal. He believes there's going to be a deal. Well, what's the latest you're hearing, and whether you not think there's going to be a government shutdown tonight?
Well, even if there's a government shutdown, just got word that the Cherry Blossom Parade will go on.
Is that right?
Well,
there
then.
you go.
Official? Is that breaking news? Can we play the breaking news sound?
Yes.
Put the Fox News alert up.
Oh.
I think Major's probably right that something's going to get together. The fact that you work till 3 a.m. and say that you're closer, I get the sense, just talking to folks around, that there's just a lot of frustration with how this has come together. And, just people around the country are saying, a pox on both your houses if you can't get this done.
Well, what do you think the holdup is? I mean, because it's probably not money. Is it these riders? What do you think the problem is? Where's the holdup?
Yeah, I think it's the riders on the Democratic side. That's what they're talking about Planned Parenthood, and then the Republican side, they say it's still the money, that there's $6.5 billion separating them. It depends on who you talk to, but I think that it's narrowing, but there's still a difference, and they're going to hold out till the end. But the bottom line is that all this gnashing of teeth is probably going to lend itself to a couple of days, at least, of a clean, continuing resolution that continues the negotiations.
Well, and what do you think this does for the future fight over the entitlements? Paul Ryan, of course, came out with his budget this week, which is the hammer falls, and everybody sort of freaks out. There's a lot of energy going into this fight. What does that mean for the next one?
Yeah, I think it was pretty wise, and there was some debate internally, according to the Republicans, about whether Paul Ryan should come out with that budget when he did. But to get the 87 House Republicans, the new House Republicans, to look at the shiny thing down the road and be able to accept whatever the deal is on this front this is, as far as numbers go, nowhere near what you're talking about in the long term. So I think it's an effective strategy for Speaker Boehner, which a lot of people were panning at the beginning, and he seems to be pulling off at least some of it.
And Brett, it seems to me that if the Democrats or if the White House were, as some Republicans have suggested, eager for a shutdown, this confrontation would be coming to a head more rapidly and more confrontationally. It seems to me that the choreography and the general attitude and comportment suggest there's going to be a deal. And I wonder what you think about the overall sense of things the public has in your audience, a special report, that if it is a pox on both houses, that certainly would be true, but the Democrats would also be likely to have less on the upside politically than they certainly did in the mid-'90s. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think, when you had former, and in the event that you emceed,
yes.
The former DNC chair, Howard Dean, saying that it would be a great thing for Democrats if the government shut down, I think that sentiment never really caught on, and then the polls showed that it was essentially tied. I mean, the Washington Post poll this week had it at 37-37. Who's to blame if it shuts down? So I do believe, and we had Congressman Hoyer and Congressman McCarthy on last night, and both of them said, we don't want this. Now, they both continued their talking points in the impasse, but I don't think that there is a big benefit for either party should it happen.
And it's worth remembering, before the last election, the Gallup number for congressional approval was 13%. Now,
yeah, exactly.
Gallup never has Congress very high. Congress in its best days runs in the high 30s, so it's not like it dropped from 70 to 13, but still 13 is awfully low, and I don't think it's gone up much since then. Yeah, and there is a sense of, again, a performance-based politics. I think that's the essence for anyone who's seeking public office now. You have to have a sense of identifying things you're going to achieve and then achieving some of those things, and a shutdown doesn't get them anywhere, it seems to me.
Yeah. I mean, in the big picture, when you're talking about a $14 trillion debt, I used this the other day, and bear with me. 1 second, 1 million seconds is 12 days ago. 1 billion seconds is 31 years ago. 1 trillion seconds is 31,688 years ago. Multiply that by 14 in U.S. dollars, and that is our debt.
You're almost as old as I am.
Not close to Mary Catherine's age. Which has been my point since day one, and I think Paul Ryan believes this as well. And we had Steve Moore from the Wall Street Journal on this morning saying the same thing, that this fight right now, this government shutdown fight, is kind of meaningless because it's only a couple of billions of dollars. The real fight moving forward is the 2012 Paul Ryan budget, which is a real game changer. We're talking about trillions of dollars worth of debt. Make the deal because it doesn't matter. Even if these things pass, it's not like all of a sudden our financial woes are cured if a deal is made.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, and that's where the real battle is ahead of this debt ceiling increase vote. And, that's where, people are going to die on that hill, fighting for it.
And as you well know, Brett, in the way these things move through the legislative and political process, victory begets momentum.
Yeah.
And a sense of victory and a sense of winning things creates a sense of possibility that is greater than if you have lost. And I think both sides, if there is a deal, will understand that they got some of what they wanted. And I would say in the main, if the number is close to $40 billion, Republicans can say they won more than they lost.
Yeah, well, let me ask you,
because that's not where Senate Democrats
what about
began this debate.
What about this 1 week CR deal with funding the government for 1 week and the Pentagon for the rest of the year? I mean, at first, a lot of pundits were saying, this is a bad move, but it seems like it changed the momentum a little bit in that House Republicans could say, hey, listen, this is what we passed. It cuts $12 billion. It only has 2 riders on it, both of which are non-controversial.
Right.
And, why not pass this? It seemed like it put the ball back in the Democrats' court.
Yeah.
It did, and it also, I think, created a legislative vehicle to resolve this because you can drop the compromise in the Senate.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounded good. It sounded like they were making progress, like they were making a good faith effort to get this done, to respect the troops, and to make it happen. And I still contend that Boehner had to drive a hard bargain on this. Saying, whatever, the little numbers don't matter, let's move on to the next fight, just proves that you're not willing to take on any fight, I think, and would have really convinced me that the next one was not going to get fought either.
Yeah.
You can't get to the big numbers unless you resolve the rounding number more in your favor than your opponents.
Right. That's right. And by the way, if the government does shut down, and Major is wrong,
which I've never been.
Which never happened.
Special report will be live tonight at midnight.
Oh, really?
For the hour.
Man, late night for
Excellent.
How about that?
I don't know. Hey, by the way, since Beck's leaving, is it going to be a 2-hour Brett BAIER show from 5 until 7 now?
That's way above my pay grade. I do not know.
All right, maybe I'll renegotiate for you. If you need an agent, let me know.
Maybe we should have the MAL team
Yeah, well, that'd be
over
good.
for the hour.
We're always willing to do anything for money and for ratings. Thank you, Brett, as always. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good one, guys.
See you, man.